Hi guys, I'm the Samantha you'll be stitching with, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a name sweater. First, you're going to want to find a nice knit sweater. This one's from Amazon. The second one is from Target. I love Target sweaters, but sometimes they're not available. And then this next one is actually a bigger kid's size from Amazon. If you want to purchase this Amazon sweater, I'm going to link it in the comment for you guys. The sweater I'll be stitching on today was actually a thrifted find. I love to thrift sweaters as well. Picking a yarn can be a really daunting task, so today I'm going to show you guys two of my favorite yarns. First is the medium weight yarn. It has a fluffy look, but it is smaller, and it is 4 ounces. I love this yarn for name sweaters. It's perfect for when your name is over 5 letters. If you use a bulkier yarn for longer names, the letters are going to start to blend together. The next yarn I'm going to show you is a bulky yarn. This is 5 ounces, and I do love this yarn as well. It's perfect if you have a name that's 5 letters and under. It has a really fluffy look. Today I'm going to be stitching with the medium weight. I'm going to show you my 2 favorite needles. The first one is a darner's needle. This is my favorite. It can be a little bit hard to thread the needle with a bulkier yarn. So if you use a bulkier yarn, you may want to try a yarn needle. It can be harder to pierce stabilizer. Since we're using medium weight yarn today, I'm going to go ahead and use a darner's needle. You can use any kind of scissors you have at home. I like to use a smaller scissor for more detailed cutting. For today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to stitch a name sweater using a name pattern pre-printed on water-soluble stabilizer. In my name sweater kit on Etsy, it comes with these pre-printed patterns, and you stick it on your sweater like a sticker, you stitch over it, and it washes off with water. If you would like to learn how to print your name pattern yourself, I will put a link to my tutorial in the description. First, we're going to place our sweater on a flat surface, and then you're going to grab your name pattern, and we are going to remove the adhesive pattern from the backing. We're then going to stick our pattern on the sweater. I kind of eyeball it, but make sure you get it in the center of your sweater. If you want to get a ruler, that can help. Make sure to smooth out any wrinkles and press down hard so that your pattern is firmly on your sweater. Next, we're going to prep our yarn. I like to get about an arm's length of yarn. If you want to, you can do an arm's length and a half. However, if you run out, I'm going to teach you what to do so you don't have to worry about getting a ton of yarn. It's going to be hard to stitch with. So your yarn is going to have 2 sides, and with one side we're going to thread our needle. Today we're going to be using the darner's needle. To thread your needle, you're going to want to pinch the yarn with your fingers to make it flat so that you can then put it through the eye of the needle. You are then going to pull your yarn through the needle, and you're going to stop once it hangs about 1/4 of the way down, and then you're going to have a tail and a longer piece of yarn. You're going to take the longer piece of yarn and tie a knot at the end of it. To tie a knot, I wrap the yarn around my finger, and then I roll it in between my fingers so that the knot is at the very end of the yarn. I do this a couple different times because I want the knot to be big enough so that the yarn doesn't come through my sweater. Today I'm going to teach you how to do a chain stitch. So to start a chain stitch, you are going to bring your needle up to the front of the sweater from the back. Your knot is going to catch it. I like to move my yarn out of the way. I move it to the left. If you're left-handed, then you might move it to the right. And then you're going to bring your needle back down the same place that you entered the back of the sweater. Now you're going to pull your yarn, but you're going to leave a little loop. This is important. This is how you make the chain. So you're going to make sure that it's pulled tight, and then you're going to bring your needle from the back of the sweater up about 1/3 of an inch, and then you're going to put the loop around your needle. So the needle is going to come up through the loop, and then you're going to pull tight. This will catch the loop and it forms a chain. Now for the second chain, we're going to bring our needle back down where we entered through the middle of the loop. you're going to pull and then leave another loop, and then you're going to repeat, bringing your needle up through the middle of the loop so that it catches to form a second chain. If your yarn catches, make sure to adjust it so that everything looks uniform. Now I'm going to teach you one other way to do a chain stitch. This is called the one step. It's basically the same process, just in one step. So you're going to take your needle back down through the loop, and then you're going to come up 1/3 of an inch ahead while your needle is still on top of the sweater, and then you're going to pull tight. These are the most common ways to do a chain stitch. It's really up to you and which way you find easier. Now I'm going to continue with the first way that I was teaching you. So once again, you're going to move your yarn to the side. You're going to bring your needle back down through the loop. You're going to pull until you leave another loop and pull your yarn up through the middle of that loop. Continue making chain stitches as you move through your first letter. If you come to a curve in a letter, you can make smaller chain stitches to account for the curve. This makes sure that it stays uniform and you don't have loose stitches. To do this, I'm going to start my chain stitch by bringing my needle through the last loop, and instead of coming up 1/3 of an inch away, I'm going to come up a little bit closer. And then pull your chain tight. This just ensures that your curves are uniform, because curves can sometimes be a sticking point for people. From here, we're going to continue our chain stitch until we hit our previous row of chain stitches. Once we get to that row of chain stitches, you're going to make one last chain stitch as close as you can to your last row. We're going to pull tight, and then to end this chain stitch, you're going to bring your needle on the outside of your last chain. You can either bring it below the row of chain stitches or on top. I chose on top for this one. It's a bit of distance between where we ended our last stitch and where we're going to begin our next stitch. When this happens, I like to snake my needle through my previous stitches on the back of the sweater to move my needle where it needs to be. This works great when you're moving just a short distance. We're then going to bring our needle back up to start a new row of chain stitches to continue through the letter. Remember to make shorter stitches on curves to make it look more uniform. Once you come to a new letter, you have two choices. You can either tie off your yarn and restart, or you can continue up the letter and then bring your yarn back down. I'm going to continue my chain stitch up the letter. Once I place my last chain stitch, I'm going to take my needle on the outside of the chain and I'm going to pull it down. This secures the chain. Now we have a bit of a distance to cover to get where we need to go to stitch next. So I am going to snake my needle through the previous stitches once again so that I can get to that spot. Bring your needle up on top of the last row of chain stitches or as close as you can beside it, and then you're going to restart your chain stitch. If your chain stitch gets interrupted by a previous row of chain stitches, you can either stitch right over that row or you can end your current chain stitch and then begin on the other side. That's what I'm going to show you here. So we're going to make one more chain stitch and get as close as you possibly can to the previous row. And then we're going to bring our needle back down on the outside of that chain stitch underneath the row of chain stitches in our way. Then underneath on the opposite side, or as close as you can get, you're going to bring your needle back up and you're going to continue your chain stitch. I can see that my yarn is about to run out, so I'm going to go ahead and go up to the top of the U, and then I'm going to show you how to switch yarns. Once we have come to the last chain, we are going to bring our needle down on the outside of the chain stitch. We're going to bring it to the back of the sweater, and then we are going to tie off our yarn. When I tie off my yarn on the back of a sweater, I like to first bring my needle through the previous stitches, and then I like to go ahead and make a knot while I'm pulling through the stitch. So you're going to pull it through, and then you're going to snake your needle back through the loop, pulling tight, and this will make a knot. This just makes sure that the knot isn't super scratchy on the baby's skin, it's more flat. I will then take my yarn back through the stitches, and then that makes it flat, and then we can cut off our yarn. We are then going to rethread our needle and get back to stitching. If you come up on a letter and there's no good way to keep stitching, I recommend just tying off your yarn and then restarting on the letter. That's kind of all my tips and tricks. So now you're going to keep stitching your sweater, and then I will come back at the end. Once you have come to the end of your name, you're going to make your last chain stitch, and then you're going to bring your needle back down on the outside of the chain, and then we're going to tie off. Now that you have a beautiful sweater, it's time to wash off the name stencil. Stabilizer is such an amazing tool, but you need to make sure to wash it off properly so no ink bleeds. Wash it under running water for 3 to 5 minutes. I recommend rubbing dish soap into it and working your fingers underneath the stitches to make sure all the stabilizer is off. It takes a long time, but it's worth it. After that, I run it through my normal laundry and I air dry. I found that this gives the best results.